What if I told you one of the best side quests for getting to know the town that you're visiting is to actually attend a local minor league baseball game? Welcome to Pop Culture Passport, your ultimate guide to quirky and cool destinations across the US. I'm your host, Beth Scalacci, aka the Roman Yeti, here to help you dive into the world of theme parks, uncover film and TV locations, and explore quirky museums, roadside attractions, and legendary venues that capture the heart and soul of this unique country. So grab your pop culture passport and let's discover destinations that resonate with your interest, not just with what's trending on social media. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome back. Today we're talking about minor league baseball and how, after a recent trip to a minor league game, I think it's in contention for being the ultimate side quest when you're traveling somewhere. So let me start with our recent experience at a out of town game. So we didn't just happen to pick a random Rochester Red Wings game. No, we picked and bought tickets for the night that we went for a very specific reason. And that's because they weren't playing as the Red Wings, they were playing as the Rochester Plates, named after, yes, the garbage plate. Well, I've talked about it before, one of Rochester's most famous regional foods. We all needed to see that jersey in person. So, yes, sometimes they play as the Red Wings, sometimes they play as the Plates. I believe they play as the White Hots, but we'll get into the name thing in a minute. Um, when I bought tickets, I actually upgraded our seats, and it, yes, even with the upgrade, it was still cheaper than a ticket to an IMAX movie in some places. So yeah, I got tickets. We sat at a table out in left field. It turned out to be great that we had a table because it meant my husband and daughter could actually eat their garbage plates without trying to balance them on their knees. I if you're curious about my food choice, I went with a walking taco. Again, it was something I had not typically seen in a stadium, so I had to give it a try. But the weather was perfect. We were sitting out in left field enjoying our food. The stadium in Rochester is it's gorgeous. It's so nice. And before the game, when we were walking around, I really was taking it all in, sort of studying what was going on. And I really realized that the food booths weren't like your typical hot dogs and nachos. They were full of local food by local vendors, and local beer. So, like, in one place, you could really get a taste for the region in that one spot. Just right there in that ballpark. The the pla Okay, the Red Wings merchandise was better than I've seen some NFL, merchandise, so I'm just gonna put that out there. The plates merchandise, though, was so much fun. We had to get a sticker for the car. Um, we didn't get to see Bruce the Bat Dog that night. So there is a golden retriever named Bruce who, runs out and retrieves the bats after the batters. I'm still a little sad about that, but that's okay. I'll be back. But, like, here's the thing about minor league baseball. We actually do like the sport of baseball, but you don't have to have a good time at these games. There's so much going on at the games. There's like other places to sit. You can sit at bars and tables that don't you can't even see the game. I mean, it's just a fun atmosphere. There's just so much going on. Um that you don't even have to worry about the score or the game. It was just really fun. But on the ride home that night, like, I realized something. This wasn't just a baseball game, and I sort of said that as I was describing it, you were probably, like, catching on, like, this might be, like, low key an amazing travel side quest. And let me give you a little minor league baseball, history. I'll make it quick. Um, minor league ball's been around since the 1880s with scrappy regional teams that refused to stop playing even when the bigger leagues didn't want them to play anymore. So by 1901, they banded together to protect themselves, and minor league baseball, as we know it, was born. The league has had its ups and downs ever since: boom years, near collapse, and an unexpected resurgence in the 1980s that I don't know that anyone has a full explanation. But through every boom and bust, one franchise has been there longer than any others. They have been playing since 1899, and through name changes, ownership crises, and one miraculous 72 days, um, and that team is the team we ended up seeing, the Rochester Red Wings. I did not know this history when we walked into this stadium. Um, like I said, this franchise dates back to 1899, and they were then known as the Broncos. They've been known as the Hustlers, the Colts, and the Tribe over the years, and it wasn't until 1928, during a Name the Team contest, that they got 700 suggestions. Um, then Hall of Famer Warren Giles settled on, he was in charge of the picking the name. He settled on the Red Wings, partly because it was unique, partly because the team would serve as the farm club, get it, a wing of the St. Louis Cardinals, and partly because, well, Cardinals are birds with red wings, so there you have it. But here's the story that really got me. In 1956, the Cardinals decided they were done with Rochester. They put the team up for sale. And instead of losing their baseball team, the city did something remarkable. A local businessman named Maury Silver led a stock drive, selling shares at $10 a piece to anyone in the community who wanted to buy. He had 72 days to raise enough money to save the franchise, and he did it. They called it the 72-day miracle, and to this day, the Red Wings remain community owned. Now, I have to share a little pop culture history with you, too. So, fans of the movie Bull Durham, it was written and directed by Ron Shelton, who was a former Red Wing who played for the team in 1970 and 71. He built the plot and characters from his own experience as a minor leaguer. It earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Screenplay. So next time you watch it, know that some of that charm came directly from Rochester, New York. And then there is the longest professional baseball game ever played. In 1981, the Red Wings and the Pawtucket Red Sox played a single game that lasted, hold on, get this, 33 innings and over 8 hours, and it was spread across 2 different days. No, I like baseball, but that's a commitment. Um, but again, like the alternate I have to bring up the alternate jerseys again. Um, because our beloved Red Wings, they play as the Plates. They have worn hockey themed jerseys. They have these really cool sign language jerseys for Deaf Culture Day. Um, and so they just really have been part of the community. And I just thought it was really interesting. But let me get back to my original thought. Why do I think minor league baseball is the ultimate side quest? Well, you've probably already made some of the connections as I've talked, but allow me to make my case. And you are the jury, and I am making my case here. One, it's affordable. As I said, we upgraded our seats at the Red Wings game, and we still spent less than we would on a single IMAX ticket in a lot of places. Um, they do have tickets as low as $16 a seat, and parking was 7. Um, so, not bad. Compare that to a major league game where parking alone is going to cost you more than our entire night out. Um, and minor league baseball is just one of the last like genuinely affordable live sports experiences. Um, you can also usually like find tickets last minute either online or walking up to the box office. So it's accessible and it's affordable. Point two, it's deeply tied to the community. These aren't just franchises that get sold and relocated on a whim. As I said, the Red Wings are literally owned by Rochester, and that is just the kind of relationship. Um, and like I said, they have local businesses in there for food and beer but also they have a upcoming promotion. I love this so much. It's called Sit and Stitch Night, and it's a promotion with a yarn store that we have visited while in Fairport, New York. Um, so they work with local nonprofits, local businesses, and I know this of other minor league teams. We have one here in Frederick, and they do so much with nonprofits and the schools and everything. So these teams are deeply tied to the community. Um, I mean, they let the kids run on the field around the bases a lot at the end of the game. So that was my second point. Third point, the alternate identities are pure joy, whimsy and joy, as my daughter would say. There's the Rochester Plates, the hop bitters, but Rochester, let's go beyond that. Minor league teams across the country have made it an art form out of celebrating their local identity through alternate jerseys. So the Norfolk Tides become the Lumpia, honoring their large Filipino American community. The Montgomery Biscuits, okay, to begin with, they're already called the Biscuits, but they become the kimchi for Korean Heritage Night. And the New Hampshire Fisher Cats become the Manchester chicken tenders because chicken tenders were invented in Manchester, New Hampshire. And the Fort Wayne Tin Caps play as the Hoosier State Tenderloins and are genuinely lobbying to make pork tenderloin sandwiches Indiana's official state sandwich. So, again, so many of my favorite things. Regional foods, fun names, just regional pride. I love it. And those are the alternate ones. Let's get into some of the full-time names that don't even need an alternate identity. The Hartford Yard Goats. This one might be my favorite. The Rocket City Trash Pandas. I'm definitely going to need a jersey. The Richmond Flying Squirrels. And I just, like I said, the Trash Pandas. That's their permanent, official, on the jersey team. And like I said, I think I need a hat or a jersey because it's perfection. And again, this is a league that understands joy. It understands regional pride. It understands that you can be serious athletic competition, but also let your mascot be a raccoon wearing a backward cap. Um, I've said it a little bit too, but like the local food is part of the experience. It's part of that community um involvement. Like we had, let's see, I at the game, yes, there were garbage plates, but there was Zweigel's hot dogs. The pizza stands was Salvatore's Pizza. And it's those shops are all over the Rochester area. Um, and yes, in a city where Genesee beer is brewed, there was plenty to be found. But there were also some of the smaller local breweries, and it just gave us a little bit of our own like beer festival vibe. You could just try some different beers that you hadn't seen or, hadn't made to those breweries. So it's just having that local regional food as well. And it turns out that's apparently exactly the point. Minor league teams have figured out that concessions are also part of the show and not just an afterthought. So Stockton, California builds itself as the asparagus capital of the world. That's a new bit of information for me. So the Stockton ports sell deep fried asparagus along the first baseline. And yes, their mascots are apparently a pair of asparagus stalks named Gus and Gustine. The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs have 13 different bacon items on their menu. And the San Jose Giants are home to a vendor nicknamed Super Churros Man, whose secret recipe churros are only available if you show up to the games in person. And when MLB ranked the best regional ballpark food across the minors, yep, who showed up first? My my Rochester Wing garbage plates. Um, but they made the list right alongside Memphis's famous barbecue nachos, which also sound delicious. Um, that's the thing, like about these concessions. They're not trying to be generic. They're trying to be part of the show, part of the game, and they're trying to taste and have the flavors reflecting the city that they're in. My next point is the promotional nights are genuinely fun. Almost every stadium has some kind of a playground or carousel to keep the kids busy between innings. There's dollar hot dog nights. There are often happy hours if you go early to the game. There are fireworks shows. There's a mascot dedicated entirely to entertaining the crowd. There's mascot races, if you've seen those at some. But some teams take theme nights to a whole nother level. So the St. Paul Saints once hosted Conspiracy Theory Night, claiming to have had a Bigfoot, a UFO, and a Tupac sighting on the same field. The Gillette Slammers had a Swiftie night celebrating all things Taylor Swift. The Lake County Captains threw a Christmas in July, complete with reindeer races, snowball tosses, and a summer Santa visit. My beloved Rocket City Trash Pandas once paired a Top Gun bobblehead night with their mascot, literally named Maverick. And then there's the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. You can tell I'm from Maryland. I almost exactly wanted to go right into blue crabs. So the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, who somehow combined two beloved New Jersey institutions into one promotion. Pork Rollers Night, celebrating the pork roll, and bowling at the same time. With a logo that featured a pork roll wearing bowling shoes. So I'm just going to leave that one there. This is a league that, again, understands an evening at the ballpark should be an experience and be fun. And let's not take the game serious, but nothing else needs to be. There's something happening here for everyone, and whether you came for the game or just, you came for the entertainment, the show. And last, there's the nostalgia. Minor league baseball feels like baseball used to feel everywhere. Unhurried, personal, a little goofy, deeply human, sitting in those stands, talking to people around you, and you're not just watching the game. You're stepping into something that has existed in some form since 1899. And here's my challenge to you, given all this. I'm going to rest my case, but I am going to challenge you. The next time you're traveling somewhere for work, for a wedding, visiting family, whatever reason, even on your just vacation, look up if there's a minor league team in your town. Check their schedule. See if you can catch a game. Honestly, do it at home too. There's a good chance there's a team closer to you than you think, playing in a stadium full of community history you didn't know existed. We didn't go to the game because we're huge baseball fans. We do love baseball, but we like it live. And we went because we wanted a fun, affordable family night out, slightly weird evening. And that's what we got. But Bruce the Bat Dog, I am hoping to see you next time, buddy. But like I said, minor league baseball might just be the most underrated side quest in the entire country. So go check one out. And with that, we add another stamp to our pop culture passport. I hope this episode inspires you to get out and explore, All that is quirky and cool, even in your own backyard. Follow, download, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Tell a friend and leave a review if you like what we're doing. It really helps the show to grow and get noticed. So you can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for The Roaming Yeti. Keep roaming and finding your fun.